Genesis chapter 10 isn't a genealogy chapter that you skip. It's the blueprint of every system that Revelation later judges. And after the flood, humanity doesn't reset into obedience, it resets into structure. And Genesis chapter 10 records how power reorganizes itself. And right in the center of that chapter stands one name, Nimrod. Genesis chapter 10 verse 8 says, Nimrod began to be a mighty one on earth. Not righteous, not faithful, mighty. So power is the point here. In Genesis chapter 10 verse 9, it says, he was a mighty hunter before Yahuwah. That phrase doesn't mean for Yahuwah. It means in defiance, in display, in opposition of. So this isn't about animals, it's about domination. And the Hebrew idea behind the word hunter here is one who captures, subdues, and controls. Nimrod hunted people. And Genesis chapter 10 verse 10 tells you exactly what kind of power this is. The beginning of his kingdom was Babel. So you have kingdom, centralized authority, human governance replacing covenant alignment. This is the first post-flood empire. And notice something critical. Nimrod doesn't start with worship, he starts with cities. Babel, Erech, Akkad. It's infrastructure before obedience. It's unity without Yahuwah. It's order without Torah. And Genesis chapter 11 then explains the theology behind it. It's one language, one people, one name for ourselves. So this is Akkad without Yahuwah. It's counterfeit unity. And Yahuwah's response isn't confusion for cruelty. It's disruption for mercy. Because unchecked unity under rebellion becomes total control. So here's the correction that most people miss. Genesis 10 is the birth of Babylon. Revelation chapter 17 and 18 is its destruction. It's the same system, different phase. Nimrod establishes centralized power, economic defiance, religious authority, cultural identity, and human sovereignty. Revelation judges a city that rules the kings of the earth, a system that controls buying and selling, a religious power drunk on authority, a culture that seduces the nations, and a false unity that's enforced by fear. And that's not coincidence. Babylon isn't just a city, it's a pattern. Nimrod is the prototype. Babylon is the system, and the beast is the enforcement arm. This is why Revelation keeps using the word Babylon, and not Rome, not America, but Babylon. Because Babylon is older than Rome, it's older than Greece, it's older than Christianity. So it's the Nimrod model. It's rule without submission to Yahuwah. It's unity without obedience. It's power justified by success. And here's where it gets uncomfortable. Revelation doesn't say that Babylon is pagan only. It says Babylon sits on many waters, many peoples, many nations, and many tongues. And that comes straight from Genesis chapter 10. The table of nations becomes the platform that Babylon rules. And Revelation says she commits fornication with kings. So that's covenant language. It's unholy alliances and compromised loyalty. And this is why Revelation judges teaching, not just behavior. Because the most dangerous thing Nimrod introduced wasn't a tower, it was a way of thinking. We can build without Yahuwah. We can unify without Torah. We can rule without obedience. We can succeed without submission. And that's the same lie that the adversary told in Eden. And that lie survives all the way to Revelation. And Genesis chapter 10 shows you the seed. Revelation shows you the harvest. And the reason this matters now is simple. Because Babylon doesn't always look evil. It looks organized. It looks prosperous. It looks spiritual. It looks successful, just like Nimrod did. And that's why Scripture doesn't warn you about chaos. It warns you about false order. And Revelation doesn't say, come out of her because she's violent. It says, come out of her because she's seductive. And Genesis chapter 10 isn't ancient history. It's the origin story of the system Yahusha comes to destroy. Not with armies, with truth. And once you see that, you can't ever read Revelation as random again. It's the final answer to a rebellion that began right after the flood. And Nimrod is standing right at the beginning of it.